Command has been given. Crank him up.
Let's go. When I say I don't know, I don't know.
Let's go, baby.
Now, the morning drive.
Buckle up, everybody.
A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
It's a game changer.
I listen to you guys every single day on my way to work.
Well, again, I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on the radio.
You guys are amazing.
What are you doing over there?
I'm going to the top.
The morning drive with Mike Bagley and Pete Pistone.
To the bat balls.
Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 live and on the air for this Monday, April 3rd, 2023. Mike Bagley here in Del Marvelous Studio 1D. We've got Pistol Pete Pistone in the Paisan Palace in Chicago. Sammy and Davey are in Studio 134 of the Beltway Bureau in our nation's capital. We welcome each and every one of you to this Monday morning and happy day one of the work week to you, Triple P.
Good morning, Bagman. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to one and all. A brand new week here on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio after a very busy weekend of racing.
A weekend of racing that featured a lot of firsts, but also a familiar face who made it back to victory lane.
From Richmond Raceway.
Drivers, start your engine!
Shannon Bednarik on top of the flag stand, looks them over closely, waiting to put the green in the air. Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch on the front row. Green flag is out. We're racing in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
I like what William Byron's trying to do right now. He's moved up to that second lane. He's trying to get some grip up there and get some momentum. And it looks like he's really found his groove in that second groove up there, Mike Bagley.
Yeah, he has, Rusty. He'll get the advantage coming into the corner. He just floated the car into the high side, kept the momentum rolling in the center, punched the button coming off the corner, and grabs the lead in the process.
Trouble turn number one. One car goes sliding up, backs it into the wall. Denny Hamlin got into the left rear quarter panel of the machine that went sliding up the racetrack. And back down it comes. It's J.J. Yaley.
Three wide coming into turn number one. William Byron will grab the lead. Larson just dive-bombed coming into the corner. Chastain backs away. Now it's Larson and Byron side by side for the lead.
Here comes Willie B off turn number 4. He's done this before already this season by scoring yet another stage win.
Good job, man. Good job.
Hit bar. Yeah, just need a hair more drive, and I feel pretty good otherwise.
As we were going to the green flag, I mentioned Ryan Blaney dropping to the tail. It's official. He was busted for speeding.
Yep. Sorry.
We've got a spin right here off of turn number 4. It is Josh Berry that has spun.
And right now, William Byron is starting to catch the wrath of Kyle Larson. Here's Larson to the outside of the racetrack in turn 2. Side by side for the lead. Larson out in front by a fender in 3.
Kyle Larson has yet to lead here this afternoon, but he may lead. Lap 124 off 4 around William Byron, and Kyle Larson has taken over the lead from Willie B.
Problem on pit lane. Kyle Larson pulling out of his pit box. Daniel Suarez pulling into his. They made contact. The right front of Larson's car got into the left side of Suarez's car on the pit lane.
Go, go, go. One outside. One outside. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
This battle for the lead is happening in lap traffic. Here's Byron and Bell side by side. They've just bypassed Harrison Burton. They've got Noah Gragson directly ahead. Now Byron backs away. Christopher Bell will take the lead off the end of the backstretch.
The battle for the race lead is on again.
Bell's not going to let him go. He's going to run him hard into the corner, but Denny has the preferred line at the bottom of the racetrack. Bell is still there. Off the turn. Hamlin not able to diamond the corner that time. Going to get bogged down just a tad. But Denny will now make the pass in 3.
And he'll be very cautious on the accelerator through turns 3 and 4. Green and white checkered flag is in the air. And Denny Hamlin wins stage number 2 of the Toyota Owners 400.
Great job. Blew him back up there, just like we planned it. Good work.
Trouble on the right front for Denny Hamlin. Trouble with Denny Hamlin. The tire did not go on. Further back, Kevin Harvick is in. 4 tires in fuel for him, but a disastrous pit stop here for Denny Hamlin with that trouble on the right front.
Sorry about that last stop, man. It doesn't matter where it lays. P11, 95 to go right here. We're fine. They'll give me 3 back here. I'll get the rest.
Green flag goes back in the air, and Martin Truex Jr. on the inside lane gets a whale of a restart. He'll clear everybody by the time they get to turn 1.
Matter of fact, he'll grab about a half a car length of real estate between himself and the field as he exit turn 2. William Byron on the outside. He'll claim second. Side by side for third. Larson to the inside. Bowman to the outside.
Trouble turn number 2. One car goes around. It looks like Tyler Reddick has gone for a spin. The caution is on the speedway. This is not what Martin Truex Jr. wanted to have happen.
William Byron was the quickest on and off pit road on the green flag stops. We'll see how he does it. No, it's Kyle Larson gets the advantage. Larson goes out first. Josh Berry goes out second. Looks like Martin Truex Jr., William Byron.
Green flag in the air. Kyle Larson and his teammate Josh Berry. William Byron looking on, and they are going to go 3 wide into turn number 1.
Ross Chastain. Oh, look out. William Byron's around and into the outside wall. Byron gets clipped. He'll nail the outside wall between 1 and 2.
Did we cover exactly what happened with Denny Hamlin? Why is he so far back?
Because he was busted for speeding on pit road on that last pit stop. Larson at the bottom of the racetrack comes up off of turn number 4. Shannon Bednarik, she puts the white flag in the air. One more lap at Richmond Raceway for Kyle Larson.
Tried to put an exclamation point on the day. Kyle Larson has had a career day here at Richmond. Strong early, good middle, but best late. Here's Larson for the final time off the end of the backstretch.
Chevrolet domination in 2023 will continue. Career win number 20 off 4. Final time, and Kyle Larson has won here at Richmond. Kyle Larson picking up the victory in the Toyota Owners 400 Richmond Raceway.
Not a bad little 30th birthday present, huh, guys? I'd say so. Good work. Check flag right here, man. Hell of a job. Great job. Congrats, Adam, Kevin, Cliff, everybody. Good job today. Great recovery. Sorry I got pissed off for a little while.
That's how it sounded yesterday at Richmond Raceway. The Toyota Owners 400 won by the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet team. Kyle Larson becomes the 6th different winner in 2023. What are your general thoughts from that 400 lapper in Richmond yesterday, Petey?
Well, my first thought would be Kyle Larson finally had things go right his way at the end of a race, right? A couple of weeks ago, a couple of times, Kyle had the most dominant car, but because of a flurry of pit stops at the end and cautions coming out late, it changed the dynamic and complexion of those races, and he wasn't able to win. He had the opposite situation yesterday. Everything sort of worked to their favor. He had a very fast race car, no doubt about it, but I think Kyle probably fell a little bit of vindication baggy, considering he probably could have had a couple of victories earlier in the year, and that is his 20th career now, NASCAR Cup Series victory that he got yesterday for Hendrick Motorsports, and Hendrick Motorsports certainly is the most dominant team in the garage area with another win on the board for the 5 team yesterday.
I didn't know this until I was headed home and I had stopped to get a bite to eat, and I saw some social media on some traffic on social media. Yesterday was Ricky Hendrick's birthday. Mm-hmm. He would have been 43 years old yesterday, and that paint scheme that Larson won with was the paint scheme that he had on his vehicles when he was driving back in the day. It's kind of an ironic day that we celebrate a win while we also remember Ricky Hendrick all at the same time.
Yeah, an emotional day for sure to see that car go to victory lane with that 5 on the side of it and the way that paint scheme looked. But I would say if I generally had to give a recap of what I saw yesterday, I would say a little of everything. A lot of strategy, certainly, some pit strategy, some good racing, I thought. Tires were wearing out, which is what you wanted with this package. Some 2-3 wide racing at times, but I thought, generally speaking, there was a lot going on in that 400 laps yesterday, and it came down to the end. I thought there were about 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 people that could have easily won that race. Baggy had that race at the end going a little differently. Had a late caution not come out when Tyler Reddick unfortunately had his issue there. We saw some miscues on pit road. Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney. We saw some miscalculation for teams in terms of pit strategy. Martin Truex Jr. So there was a lot going on yesterday there at Richmond, but at the end of it all, Kyle Larson picking up yet another win for Hendrick Motorsports.
Saw a lot of mistakes yesterday on pit road that cost a lot of teams. There were a couple of drivers that it was just like, oh my goodness, can you just stop the bleeding here? It's like, I know Chris Buescher was one of them, came down And then they had a pit road issue come down again. Then it came down again. It was just like it kept just piling on. I thought that I didn't know what to expect going into the race yesterday because we had no practice.
Yep.
We had no qualifying. I took a lap through the garage yesterday and took the temperature of some of the crew chiefs. And it was pretty much consistent that we think we know what we have, but we're not sure what we have. A couple of crew chiefs said, you're going to see people up front that you didn't expect to see. And then you're also going to see people that you expected to see up front not be there and will not have the best of days. And I think that that's the way it played out. One crew chief said basically it's going to be like a COVID race. We have no idea. We have no practice, no qualifying. We're going to show up. We're going to turn them loose. We're going to race. Now, remember, this was the first time for this new aero package on a pure short track. We had it at Phoenix and we had it at Coda. So some teams were heaving darts, and making educated guesses. And I would say that, again, Hendrick Motorsports capitalized and they knew how to handle the day. And they guessed, and I'm using air quotes here, and they guessed in the right direction. While it looked like that it was a Hendrick day, it was another Chevrolet day, I thought Toyotas did good. Fords were, they were hovering, but they never really made an impact. But it was good to see some of those Fords like Brad Keselowski up towards the front of the field again.
Well, it's interesting because yesterday on Fantasy Racing Preview, to your point, we did not have any practice or qualifying to go on. So leaning towards sort of past performance at this racetrack was something that I think played into sort of what you talked about there. But I felt like if one manufacturer was going to get it over another, that would sort of dictate how the race went. You can say that to a degree when you have Chevrolet finish first, second, and third with Kyle Larson and Josh Berry and Ross Chastain. But I agree. I thought the Toyotas showed some stuff yesterday. Not that much from a Ford camp, and I was really surprised. I thought Kevin Harvick would be a little bit more of a player. Top 5 for Kevin, not bad. I thought he'd be a little more of a player than he was. But there was a mix. There's no doubt about it. And that first stage seemed to be a little reconnaissance. I know we had a competition caution because of first of all, no practice, no qualifying. And then you had sent a video on Saturday night. We were getting a lot of rain and hail there in the Richmond area. So the track was relatively green. It was green on Sunday. But I think once they got that figured out of what the track was doing, I thought you saw a little bit more in the second stage and certainly in the third stage, drivers at least having an understanding of how the race car was going to handle in these conditions.
Yeah, it was a handful for some yesterday. I thought that it was interesting at one point of the race where you had drivers that had long run cars. You had drivers that had short run cars. The Hendrick cars had the short run cars. And then the Gibbs bunch and the Toyotas had the longer run. That stretch there when Seabell came to life, and you could see the car getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I thought that you had, to your point, a little bit of everything. And then it was fun to watch certain cars make an impact, and you could see it coming while others would fade over the longer haul yesterday in those extended green flag runs that we had.
Well, there's the key phrase, what you just said, which I find interesting. At this stage of its life, Richmond Raceway's calling card are these long green flag runs. You had 8 cautions yesterday, but 2 were for stage breaks and 1 was for the competition caution. So you had 5, quote, natural cautions throughout the day. When they fell, obviously dictated some of what we're talking about here, but you really now have to be ready, at least right now in the last few times out there, for long green flag runs, pit strategy, making sure you have tire management right, and all of that, which is interesting because it's still a short track. It is a short track, but I think Richmond has become now this race track where, being out there for a while and managing your tires and your handling is a very big part of going to victory lane. I saw that yesterday.
When we come back, you will hear from the top 5 finishers and others as we continue through this Monday morning. Bottom of the hour, headline check number 1. Give you our checkered flags and black flags from the racing weekend. We'll take yours as well. 866 Pit Lane. You can also tweet us at SiriusXM NASCAR, hashtag TMD NASCAR. Coming up in the second hour, we'll recap our picks, our prop bets. We'll also give you the calendar at around 8:50 this morning. In the third hour, 9 a.m. Eastern hour, we'll give you our Xfinity Series and Truck Series recaps. Ryan Vargas scored a top 10 finish in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Texas on Saturday. We'll visit with him. As, of course, we're here with you until 11 a.m. Eastern time here on this Monday morning, April 3rd, 2023.